Guys, welcome to another Dan the Man review of UFC 184. And the big highlight, the big matchup was Ronda Rowdy Rousey versus Cat Zingano. And Zingano was supposed to be the top contender of all the women. She was supposed to be definitely the badass, 9-0 coming into this fight. I'm going to be talking about the highlights of 184. Thank you to my good buddy Terry for ordering the fight and calling me up and telling me to come over because I wasn't going to be able to get the fight. I mean, it's expensive these days, right? You know, it's interesting. I think Chris Weidman and Vitor Belfort was supposed to fight in this card. But, of course, Weidman got injured, so they had to push it back. That's the problem with UFC is the injuries that are occurring frequently, and that's not a good sign. That's definitely not a good sign, especially even the drug testing as well. I believe Ronda came out and said, hey, she was all for the drug testing, except she admitted she partied for a year straight. I mean, these guys like to party. I mean, they tell it in the crowd once they're speaking after the fight. All right, let's get right into it. Basically, the highlight that I thought of the fights, and Koscheck got choked the fuck out. The dude was foaming in the mouth. He got choked out by this young little lad, Jake Ellenberger. Jake Ellenberger. Man, he did the submissions. I haven't seen the submission, I don't think, ever in the UFC, where he had his neck and he did a... They were standing up, and he was able to like grab his neck like from underneath and hook his arm over basically and choke the hell out of Koscheck, and Koscheck dropped to the floor and tried to scramble his way out of it. But he had such a tight grip, and it was such a unique kind of choke, especially when you're standing up at first, and you can see just Koscheck really just trying to get out of it. And then when it showed the one view of it, of him foaming in the mouth, I mean, give it to Koscheck. I don't like the guy, but at least the guy was fighting hard to get out of it. He's up there in age, so I don't think he has too much left to fight with, left in him. But he ended up losing by submission. He tapped out, rightfully so. That dude had that choke deep. Great submission, maybe submission of the night. You can count another submission, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Then Holly Holm, the boxer that came into the UFC, I believe 18 times. She's Olympic champion or something like that. Fighting Pennington. I don't know if Pennington was in Ultimate Fighter. I couldn't remember. But yeah, so it was Holm's debut really, and Holly looked good. Her striking looked clean, of course. Her striking, punching wise. But what was surprisingly, Joe Rogan pretty much called it. Her kicks were really great. Her side kicks really, distanced herself from her opponent. She really was looking really great out there tonight. And she looks like she needs to get better. You saw that in the third round. She kind of slowed down a little bit, getting tagged in the face quite a bit. But I knew she won the fight if she didn't get knocked out or didn't get submitted by 2 rounds. And what was great about Holly was she was those takedown defenses. I think because she's so tall and maybe she has all her weight to the ground, that it was hard for Pennington to really take her down. And besides that, I mean, Holly is pretty tall as it is. Oh, well, I said that. She's tall. But Holly looks pretty good. I can't wait to see how much she'll improve. Her striking looks clean. There's one time, though, she went for like a jab and like a right hook or a right uppercut. Totally missed, like just air. And then there was a couple times where she tried to do tried to do a roundhouse kick, barely missed Pennington twice. So Holly looked great. I think she looked sharp. She needs to get better, not conditioning wise, but just try to finish the fight. She was disappointed she didn't finish the fight. I thought she could have if she really just maybe tagged her up a little bit more, but she looks great. She looks like a rising star. She just needs to get better overall at every striking wise, yeah. But work on the ground game, because I would like to see Holly try some takedown maneuvers. Because you need to know everything once you go into UFC. It's mixed martial arts. This isn't boxing. This is mixed martial arts. And if you have the ground game, if you have the submission game, that's a huge plus. Let's talk about the main fight now. I've said it over and over again. I will not give Ronda any... I mean, she is a beast. The last fight, she was just going... Boom, that's it. The last fight, she ended in such quickness, and I don't think it lasted a minute. No, it didn't. It lasted like 30 seconds. This fight was no different. 14 seconds in. Waste the money. I mean, Kat Zingano comes in rushing, tries to throw a knee, and when I watched the replay, I thought she did a good flying knee, but I watched the replay, and you saw another angle to it. Her knee wasn't that great. It wasn't that... She didn't really jump, if you think about it. If you look at it, she just like kind of lunged at that knee, tried to hit her maybe in the chest area. Well, they got tangled up, end up falling on the floor. Ronda ended up getting the arm, getting pretty much like an armbar type thing, just twisting her arm while, it was in between her legs and just really twisted it and just had Kat tap out in 14 seconds. Now, after this fight, my friend was a huge Ronda fan. He thinks that she's a beast, that she's. We both predicted that, hey, this was not going to... We predicted Ronda was going to win. I wanted Kat to win, but I predicted Ronda was going to win in a quick manner. But I didn't think 14 seconds quick, so that's insane. Ronda is such a great fighter. I think she's really just gone the distance, not the distance, but at least longer in the fight with Miesha Tate. I thought Miesha Tate had a chance to win it, but of course her conditioning wasn't there and her game plan was retarded. No offense, but it was retarded. But yeah, Ronda, Ronda is a beast. You got to give it to her. She's champion for a reason. Love her, hate her. She is a beast. She's got those armbar submissions locked down. She's got the judo throws. The judo throws, I think, they are the deadliest in her weapon. And she's getting better at striking. She's getting better at striking. But her ground game is really, really great. However, I will say, over and over again, like Floyd Mayweather, about freaking time, he's going to fight the best in the sport, and that's Manny Pacquiao. Now he's going to prove that his legitimacy, his legacy is no fluke, that he's going to fight the best, and he's going to beat the best, maybe. I'm rooting for Pacquiao. Hopefully Pacquiao knocks his ass out. Ronda, look at that women's division. There really isn't anybody who is as big as Ronda, who could fight as Ronda, who doesn't have the certain skills. Holly maybe, but that's going to take a while. But people need to realize that UFC is not the one that made a big deal out of women's MMA. They're not the one that brought it over. It was Strikeforce. And who did we have in Strikeforce? We had Gina Carano, my girl Gina Carano, and we had Chris Cyborg. Cyborg needs to fight Ronda. It has to happen. We've been wanting this fight. We know the weight issues with Cyborg. She can't make the weight. There is also possibilities of drug use. Or of course, she got tested positive. But still, that fight needs to happen. We need a big fight in a women's division, and that's one of them. I mean, Miesha Tate and Ronda was the biggest when we first started out with this stuff. But we need a Cyborg versus Ronda. Ronda needs to stop acting like she cannot go up, because she needs to do it in order to really prove that this is legitimate. It's legitimate. I mean, she is. She's a badass. She swept the whole women's division. But in order to become a legend, you need to fight the best out there. And Chris Cyborg is known as the best. Even though I believe that after watching Cyborg's Muay Thai fights and stuff, I think Ronda could take her. I really honestly think Ronda could really beat her. But she still just needs to fight Cyborg just to prove that she can. She needs to fight the best, and Cyborg is one of the best. I wanted the Gina Carano versus Ronda fight. They almost made it happen, but it's not going to happen. I don't think it's ever going to happen. It really doesn't seem like it's ever going to happen. Gina's focusing on her acting career. She said she wanted to fight, but she moved on to better things. However, even if Gina didn't sign that fight, I still think Ronda would have beat her. First of all, Gina still hasn't really, I said this in my other videos, she needed more training. And I just think that Gina would have definitely, if she would have got back in the ring soon, she would have lost. But if she would have got that training and maybe stuck with UFC, got signed for UFC and not go on to other adventures, she could have been the face and could have beat Ronda. But Ronda's judo and submission game is really, really outstanding. That's why I think she has a chance. She has more than a chance to beat Cyborg. Her judo is just that good. But that's really sad to see that with the women's division. We need more women, coming in here and really giving Ronda a challenge, because this women's division right now is not nobody can compete with Ronda. We need somebody to compete with Ronda. I think they should do that Miesha Tate fight again. I think Miesha Tate does have that, is the best chance of being Ronda. I think she does. Miesha Tate's actually pretty good if you think about it, but she needs to really change her game plan and really get back into conditioning, honestly. But who's going to challenge Ronda? I have no clue. I have no clue who's next for Ronda. I really think they need to set that Cyborg fight up. I mean, Dana White has to be looking at this Mayweather and Pacquiao and how much money they're going to be making. I think Dana was smart. He would set up these big matchups. I mean, we always wanted Anderson Silva versus St. Pierre. You know, just dream matchups out there. And Ronda, I mean, with the St. Pierre and Anderson Silva, I mean, they still had guys in their division that were freaking awesome that could challenge them. With Ronda, this is a different situation. She really doesn't. She really doesn't have any women in her division that could challenge her. And I want to see, you know, I think Ronda is one of the best, but I don't think she is the best. I think there's somebody out there that's just too beast that could take Ronda, but I don't know if we're going to see it. I don't know if we're going to see it anytime soon. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think Dana White needs to really go look deep in, deep to get more women involved. I know we had the Ultimate Fighter recently. I think we need another Ultimate Fighter where we can find another women one, please. Another where women are hungry to get that belt and hungry to really challenge Ronda, because Ronda's just too beast right now, too big, too good. Just she is really good, but hopefully we can make that Cyborg fight happen. It has to happen. I know, there's maybe a lot of people that said this doesn't need to happen, but I think a lot of people are on board to say that it does, because Chris Cyborg was champion in Strikeforce, and she was the first woman, had the first big main card with Gina Carano. But we'll see what happens, man. I think, but Ronda, you got to give her props. She's a beast. She's a champion. But we need more. We need more. We need more women who are going to step up. And I think, Kat Zingano does deserve a rematch, because you could tell that that's exactly what she did not want to do. She was embarrassed. You could tell. I could feel her pain, how angry she was of herself. I hope that's not. I think I haven't really seen Kat Zingano fight, but I do think seeing her in there, I think she's better than that. I think she just got caught, with the stupid strategy of just going straight in there. When you go straight in there, you're gonna make a mistake. She made a mistake. I think. Do I still think she could beat Ronda? I don't think so. I don't think she could beat Ronda, but hopefully she does get a rematch, and hopefully Ronda gets a challenger that's gonna shock her and really shock the world when this challenger comes up. And we just need new talent. We need new talent who's ready for the challenge. So thank you guys for listening. Tell me your thoughts on 184. What was the best submission of the night? I think Koscheck getting choked out was great. That's the one. I only saw really 3 fights, honestly. So, but great. It was it was not too bad. Of course, I didn't have to pay for it, so I guess it was great. Sorry, Terry. But all right, guys. Thank you. Comment below. Let me know if you think Ronda, should fight Cyborg or somebody else. Excuse me. Throw a name out there. So thank you guys.